Reports suggesting that a certain Alexis Sanchez is Chelsea's #1 target this summer. What do you think?
Well, this report actually originated in Italy, citing sources close to Antonio Conte. It's always interesting to see, I think, the genesis of how these things get put together. I haven't been able to confirm this, but from what I know a little bit, I think it's probably more of a case of Conte wanting to make sure that Chelsea reaches the transfer targets this summer, something that they weren't able to do last summer for the most part, and in January, and basically saying, guys, if Alexis Sanchez is on the market, because he only has a year left on his contract, of course, then we really should be in for him. And I think Chelsea will continue to go and monitor the situation. From Arsenal's perspective, they've basically suspended contract talks for now and are going to broach the subject at the end of the season.
Arsenal.
Surely not.
What a mess. Why are you suspending contract talks? What are you doing? It's Alexis Sanchez.
Until Wenger shares his plans with the rest of us.
If you were Alexis Sanchez, guys, regardless of who the coach will be, and you get an offer from Chelsea or a team that are worthy of title contending more than Arsenal.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
That's it. I think you've done what you were going to do at Arsenal. It's not going to get any better. And I don't think that the ceiling for Arsenal is as high as it is for other clubs who are willing to take these steps forward and say, you know what, we are going to invest because we want to achieve certain things. And it feels that the time for Alexis Sanchez has been coming to an end at Arsenal for a long time now, and it's only a matter of time, to be quite honest.
Can you put up any argument for him to stay, Shaq?
No, not really. It's as simple as that. And the fact of the matter is, looking at it from Alexis Sanchez's point of view as well, as good as he was at Udinese, as good as he was at Barcelona, okay, maybe surplus of requirements there have been no end of suitors for Alexis Sanchez's services. But you can't help but feel that Arsenal made certain promises about their direction to Alexis Sanchez to convince him to come there, to be a part of this project. And I don't think Arsenal have delivered on whatever that promise may be. So Alexis Sanchez has every right to be upset with the way things have gone over the last few seasons. This is not something that's new to him. This isn't some feeling that he just came upon over the last couple of weeks. This has been brewing for a while, and I don't see how it goes away. I don't see how he stays.
I don't think it matters who the manager is, because Alexis Sanchez wants to win things. He certainly wants to win the Premier League. But in order for Arsenal to do that, this whole team needs overhauled.
Yeah.
That's going to take time. That's going to take at least 3 seasons to do, in my opinion. He doesn't have that time. He's in his prime. He's at his best. He wants it now. And that's why, regardless of who the manager is, he needs to go.
Marcus Rashford, a name that everybody gets excited for when they see him on the pitch, but probably not as much for Jose Mourinho, because many believe he's being wasted away at Man United. Alejandro Moreno joining me for this one. Alejandro, I know I'm not benching Zlatan. Jose clearly isn't. But do you think that Rashford's talent is going to waste at United now?
No, not just yet. However, what are you going to do? What are your options? One of the great things about having a player like Zlatan Ibrahimovic and in the season that he's having is that sometimes he can carry you. He can score the big goal. He can be the guy. He can be the personality on the field. The drawback to that is that you look to Marcus Rashford and say, uh-oh, what do we do with this guy? Because we're not taking that guy out. We're not taking Ibrahimovic out. We're going to ride him until he can no longer go. And then Rashford, maybe he's learning from Ibrahimovic. Maybe he's getting his work in training, but it's nothing quite like being out on the field. And when he comes on, he makes a difference. Now, in the near future, that's going to be his role. As he gets older, he's got to demand more things from himself, but certainly demand more things as well from Manchester United. Because if he doesn't get the opportunities to play, and if the long-term plan is not Marcus Rashford, he's got to look elsewhere. Well, there are a couple of youngsters here that I'm sure are dying for these opportunities that Zlatan is sort of hogging at the moment for with reason. We know Anthony Martial is still there, Jesse Lingard at only 24, Rashford even younger there. So there is still time for these youngsters to develop in their current role, right?
There is, and that's what I would say in the near future. You do what you're asked to do. But as you get older,
and that development continues, then you say to yourself, wait a minute.
How old is older?
If I want to take a step, if I want to take a big jump, I got to be playing. I think Rashford is ahead of Anthony Martial, for example. I think his ceiling is higher. And so, and he seems to me that he impacts the game more than Martial does. So he would be ahead in the pecking order. I just don't know that he's ever going to get ahead of Ibrahimovic. Certainly not in the short future, and long distance future. It seems like Ibrahimovic is staying around. So Rashford's got to be very smart about this. I continue to do my job. I do what I'm asked to do, but at some point I have to look out for number one as well.
Got to put your hand up.
Yes, you do. If not, you get run over, by the way.
If not, you'll get run over indeed. Well, luckily, youth is on Rashford's side. Zlatan only there at least for one more year, but one never knows. We'll continue tracking this one.
I'm 100% sure they're not good enough. 100.
Not good enough to what? Win the World Cup?
What we're basing it on? If we're talking about Germany, we're basing our discussion on them winning the next major championship. Same as Spain, same as France, possibly same as Italy. What we're basing England on?
Hope.
You know, I'm 100% sure as I sit here now that they will get to Russia, but they'll be nowhere near winning it. I'm 100% sure about that. So what are we basing the progress of England on? I don't quite get where they need to be before we say they're at the next level, because they finished bottom of the group in Brazil. They got the lucky draw in France and got knocked out to Iceland. Now they've made these changes, and there are some bright young English players. I'm not saying that, but as a team and as a squad, I am 100% sure they are nowhere near and are no closer to being in with the real big boys come Russia 2018.
I think what's interesting is that when it comes to England, the bar seems to conveniently be lower in regards to what the expectations are or aren't. So when they feel good about it, then the bar goes incredibly high, unrealistically high. When they feel not so good about it, then all of a sudden any good result or any semblance of a good result seems to be like, all right, we're on our way back. At some point, you have to realistically look at what this team is. A good team, a team that will make it into the big competition, but that's it. That's the ceiling.
For the easily offended out there, and there are many, I am also 100% sure that Scotland won't even qualify because they're hopeless. So it's not an anti-England thing.
Time to kickstart the week off the right way with the sweeper. You know the feeling when you have an excess of money and you start spending it on unnecessary things like a glow-in-the-dark hairstyle? Yeah, me neither, but Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang just proved that he knows that feeling all too well. One could argue that referees have one of the hardest jobs in the world, so much so that Luis Fabiano found himself on the wrong end of a red card, as this Brazilian referee was clearly trying his hand at a career in acting. Elsewhere, we all know that goals win games, but for this fan, goal-saving tackles are winners in his book. So much so that he's immortalized Javier Mascherano's tackle on Arjen Robben in the 2014 World Cup semi-finals with a tattoo. And hey, it got him to meet the big man himself. Smooth move, I think. Finally, it's one thing for a coach to say, get all the men behind the ball, and then there's this. How to defend a corner, brought to you by Sunday League Football, also known as Absolute Brilliance.
Time for Monday's Sweeper and a look at what was trending in the social media world of football at the weekend. We begin in Barcelona, where the club recently released a clip of one of their training drills, tic-tac-toe. The teams of three sprinted to a makeshift tic-tac-toe board, hoping to outsmart the opposition and line up three coloured markers in a row. Look, he may be a genius on the pitch, but Neymar, well, he cost Team Blue the victory this time after his miscalculation was quickly taken advantage of by Denis Suarez. Moving on to England, League One, Scunthorpe's Murray Wallace may have just pulled off the best game-saving block ever to deny Bradford's James Meredith. After finding himself on the ground in the 6-yard box with time running out, Wallace stuck out his left leg, somehow managed to get his foot on the ball and sent it over the bar. His 92nd minute heroics may prove pivotal as well, as Scunthorpe prevailed 3-2 over their promotion rivals. Finally, a story to warm your hearts. Terminally ill 5-year-old Bradley Lowry was accompanied by his best friend, Jermaine Defoe, as they led out the England team at Wembley against Lithuania. Joe Hart was meant to be the captain. He was, but captains normally lead the team out. He let Jermaine Defoe and Bradley lead the England team out at Wembley. And Defoe, who's gone to visit Bradley in hospital, shared this great moment between the two. And it's our photo of the weekend. That's it for now. Back tomorrow for Tuesday's Sweep.
Todos meus 3 filhos, eles jogavam bolas. Quando pequeno eles jogavam juntos, né? Mas o primeiro Kleber Kempis, ele tentou como goleiro, mas não deu muito certo. E aí eu esperava o próximo filho na outra Copa, em 82. Aí foi que nasceu o Everton. Aí eu digo, vou botar também, Kempis. Ironia do destino, um virou atacante. Amaro Gonçalves, pai de Kleber Kempis, Everton Kempis e Eric Kempis. Lembrança de 78.
Yo he visto en mi vida 2 grandes selecciones de Brasil, la del 70 y la del 82. Sócrates, Zico. Por que Kempes?
O jogador argentino é muito raçudo, né? Ele veio, o primeiro filho foi em 78, ele nasceu no dia 22 de junho de 1978. Foi no dia de uma das partidas, no 22 eu acho que foi com
Peru.
O Peru, que tinha que ganhar de 5-0.
Semifinal.
Eu falava para mim mesmo, um artilheiro que for da Copa do Mundo, eu colocaria, se não o nome completo, mas pelo menos o sobrenome. Porque quando ele começou, por ele ter vindo da Bahia, aí ele chamava baiano. Mas quando ele foi lá para o Espírito Santo, aí mudou de baiano para Everton Kempis. Aí veio o cabelo, como você tinha o cabelo na época, bom, escorrido, né? Grande, né? Diferente, né? E na Chapecoense ele se encontrou muito feliz, muito feliz. Nós estávamos para assistir o jogo quando no dia do acidente caiu o nosso pulo. Mas eu sei que ele está com Deus, sei que ele foi um bom pai, um bom marido, né? Naquele dia na Arena Condá, assisti o jogo. Mas nós assistimos a despedida. Toda fase passa.
Sí, todo pasa, ¿verdad?
Tudo passa.
Cuesta que pase, pero pasa.
Tudo passa.
Dicen que la única camiseta que se encontró fue la de él.
Foi.
¿La tiene usted?
Nos consultaram, né? E aí indicamos que a melhor pessoa seria os filhos ficar com a camisa, né? Porque o filho dele também, ele botou o quê?
João Gabriel Kempes. Yo le voy a entregar una camiseta con la que jugué en el 78 para que la tenga usted o se la dé su nieto.
Obrigado, Kempes.
E agora?
Olha pra frente, que uma das coisas que ele fez recentemente, ele gravou um vídeo que a Chapecoense fez com todos os jogadores. E a frase dele é: não deixar o sonho morrer.